What's up, everybody? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. And as you can see, today I'm going to showcase the deck that I used in the ARG 1K event on day 2 of the Atlantic City Team Wars event that I was able to pilot for a top 16 finish. Quick shout out to my teammate Brian Vieira. He kind of showed me the way when it came to this deck. He was the one that kind of just said essentially like just play it, it's good. Yeah, shout out to you, Brian. He actually used Vegeta during the main event and did well with it, so I just figured I'd just try it out. And it's a lot of fun. I love playing it. I picked it up kind of quickly because I've played a similar deck in the past, but we'll get into it and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, of course, like I mentioned before, we are playing the Vegeta leader from set 1. It's a great card, Self-Awakening, gains critical on the front side. It's one of the old school leaders where you awaken and you draw 2 cards. So that's good. I feel like the untapping mechanic has kind of taken over the meta right now. But essentially, he's a really good leader. He can push for early aggro and kind of just maintain card advantage so you don't lose in the late game. The Awaken side, it's just draw a card when you attack. I mean, it has the other effect where if you have 7 energies, you gain 10,000 power, but that never happens. And you still have the option of course, taking a life to giving yourself critical. But by that time, you're putting yourself in lethal range, so you got to pick and choose when you're going to do that. But if you guys like Vegeta, if you guys like playing with blue, I recommend trying this leader out. It's very good, very aggressive at the same time. And I like it because of the energy manipulation, which we'll get into. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you guys the cards I chose to run in this deck. We're going to start off with 4 Energy Boost Majin Buu. Energy Boost Majin Buu is still a great turn 1 play. If you're on the play, you just kind of charge, play Buu, draw and pass. It's not a bad opening play because you're not really losing any hand advantage. You're kind of just staying consistent. Worst case scenario, it's blue energy and it's a free 5K combo. And every card in this deck can swing for game, essentially. Like if you get your opponent down to 1 or 2 life, basically all of your battle cards become threats. So it's good to have, little weenies that you can drop for early energy or for free energy and just have pluses and benefits off of them. So we use Energy Boosted Majin Buu for that. I think this is the best card in the deck. Unyielding Spirit Trunks. We play 4 of these. I'm a big fan of this card. It came out in set 2. And as you guys know, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I used to play the Trunks deck very heavily with set 2. And I used to love abusing the untap ability of Unyielding, but also drawing a card off of the leader. Now with Vegeta, it's really good because Vegeta gets to recycle the same energy constantly and put out threats for low cost. So I love Unyielding Spirit Trunks. I think if you're playing a blue leader, you have to play it just because it's that good. It's a free 5K combo that essentially untaps one of your energies, which you can use offensively or defensively moving into the next turns. And it's searchable in this deck, which we'll get into. And the next card I play is 2 Sun Goten. This is just a set 1 vanilla Goten. He's essentially just blue energy. I just snap charge this guy when I get him into my hand. And, this deck is a dual color deck. It's blue-red. So there's a lot of color correction needed in this deck. And, because it's searchable, you could just snap charge them. And then once I get them in my hand, it doesn't make my charge phase that difficult. I don't have to overthink it. I just kind of have designations in this deck for energy. But also, like I said, every card's a threat. It's a 2-drop with 15K. You're already putting pressure on an awakened leader with that amount of power. So don't be surprised if you see Goten swinging in for game every once in a while. We use 2 of those. And the next card, of course, is 4 Boost Attack Piccolo. Boost Attack Piccolo, in my opinion, is better than Kibito Kai. It's just the consistency of being able to draw a card every time, whether it's on offensive defense, and it doesn't really matter what your opponent does in that situation. It's a great card, free 10K draw. The super combos are great in this game, and Piccolo, just helps you extend your plays, gets more damage on board, and lets you replenish your hand, so you're not really losing the advantage battle. The next card I use 2 Preface of Recovery Son Goku, or BCC Goku as everybody calls him. This card's good. I think 2 is the right number. I know some builds run like 3 But I think 2 is the right number for me. I mean, yeah, he has a really good interaction because when he comes in, he's a 3-drop 15k with barrier, 2 blue energy, you know, for restricted cost. But when he comes in, he untaps 2 energies. So he essentially comes in for 1 energy. And he has barrier, so you can swing for game against the yellow leader and not have to worry about Shugesh Kid Goku, which is great. You know, but he's a play extender also. Like, if I have the right amount of energy up, I can get multiple threats on turn, you know, on board per turn. And just being able to play him and untapping is very, very fun. 15k, again, is a threat to an awakened leader, and barrier is nothing to laugh at. So I use 2 preface. And the last blue card in the deck, what's a blue deck, or what's any deck nowadays without Senzu Bean? Senzu Bean is the best extra card in the game. It's always going to be the best extra card in the game. It's just too good. You know, you have 5,000 plus attack or defense, depending on when you use it, and it untaps energy. You know, it just corrects your energy. You can untap what you need. You can tap what you don't need. You know, it's just a very, very good card. In this deck, it helps both extend my plays, but it also gives me a very good defense against the Veggie matchup. If you slap down 2 or 3 Senzu Beans on your leader in the Veggie matchup, they have to really, really think about if they want to push and use cards to build up, you know, to attack, you know, and burn down their hand. And if you survive it, then you essentially win their next turn because they're losing all their hand advantage. Senzu Bean's really good at drawing out, you know, other threats, but also extending your plays on offense. So I use 4 Senzu Bean. And the next color, of course, we use in a Vegeta deck is red. It's a heavier red count than blue because red is just more of an aggro color. But of course, we're going to start off with 4 Saiyan Kaba. This card is one of the most powerful 1-drops in the game. Set 4 is giving us a red GT Trunks 1-drop that essentially, instead of gaining double strike, it gains critical. So that's going to be interesting to see how these 2 interact in the same deck. But for right now, Kaba is the OG. Kaba did it first. You know, you swing, take a life, gain 10k and double strike. It could be a late game threat for 1 energy. It helps you self-awaken. There's just so many plays that you could make with this Kaba. You could play multiple Kabas per turn. You can swing with a Kaba with 1 red energy, just tapping it to bring it out. And you can untap that same 1 energy with an unyielding and then just play another Kaba if you need to. There's just so many plays. And double strike, you know, late game is a threat. So you have to play Kaba, in my opinion. Then my favorite card in the deck is Mighty Mask, the Mysterious Warrior. I'm a huge fan of toolboxes or toolboxy decks. I love being able to play a card and search for cards. Like, I love, you know, just searching through my deck and getting more pieces. And the fact that Mighty Mask is just 1 red energy for 2 that can search you a Goten and a Trunks. You essentially search your unyieldings, which allows you to untap. And then you search 2 other targets, which is the blue Goten, and we'll just get into it right now. This red Goten here for color correction and energy. Essentially, the perfect scenario for chargeable energy is 2 blue Gotens and 2 red Gotens. That's pretty much all the energy you need in the deck. Everything can just untap itself or recycle its playability to just thrive off of just charging 4 energies. Which is really good. If you can play successfully and competitively with low energy manipulation, you're going to have more cards in your hand to combo or to play or to draw out. So Mighty Mask essentially gives you your chargeable pieces and just allows you to extend further into the game without having to charge your quote-unquote good cards. Aside from chargeable energy, I mean, worst case scenario, Goten is a 15k body. So he can't put pressure on an awakened leader, but for the most part, I just slap him down for energy. The next card I use is 3 Bodyguard Legics. The reason I use Bodyguard Legic is because this is a leader-based deck that doesn't really put a lot of threats on the board. So Bodyguard Legic, for the most part, is free when he comes out, and he's a free 15k blocker. Blockers are very important against Victory Strike, but just in general, you know, if they're not playing board wipes, you know, in the main deck, you know, you kind of get, you know, another defense out of it because you're not really playing negates in this deck. So Legic kind of essentially works as like a pseudo negate, but also Mass Saiyan doesn't affect him because he can't warp blockers, and not a lot of people are main decking the other Mass Saiyan, which takes a life. So It's a good meta call right now. It's a free blocker essentially, but it also can have a dual threat and be a 15k body on board that could swing at any time. It's also a free combo piece, so there's a lot of utility with Legic. 3 is the perfect number. I don't want to clog myself and play more because you're only going to have one of them on board really at a time, and if you lose one, you can just play the other. But you don't essentially need 4 of them. Worst case scenario, it's a free 5k combo. The next card I use is probably the most dangerous combo card in the game, which is Furthering Destruction Champa. Any leader or any card that has the critical mechanic is in a way of itself just a huge threat, because you're swinging to your opponent for damage and they're not plussing off of it. They're not getting rewarded for taking a life. And throwing a double strike on a Vegeta that's already awakened with crit is 25k. And that's huge. I mean, 25k double strike crit, you're talking your opponent on the awakened side has to combo up to 30. So they have to probably use, 3 cards to do that. Or rather, they have to use at least 2 cards to do that. And those 2 cards might be crucial later on. And because you're applying so much pressure consistently throughout the game, you're going to dwindle your opponent's hand down to the point where they might consider just taking the double strike crit, because it's that devastating losing hand advantage. But Vegeta is not the only critical threat in this deck. We'll get into it later, but that's the main target you want to use it on. The next card I play is 4 Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. This card is really good because essentially it's like another super combo. It's a tap 1 for 10k boost and you draw a card. And because Vegeta is constantly untapping energy, you normally have it open to play this card. I like to play this card more defensively because I usually have energy up on defense. Whereas on offense, if I know I'm going to win or if I'm trying to make a big push, I like to exhaust all my energy and just play free combos. So instead of using the super combo Piccolo on defense, I'll try to just stick with Unbreakable on defense and just tap energies and make sure I don't tap myself out, or make sure to play a Bean on defense to untap something. Just make sure that I don't close it out. And it replaces itself. So the other nifty thing about it is it's only 2 red to hardcast for 4 energy. And it has barrier, so you can drop this guy on board if you're playing against yellow and you want to swing for game. It has barrier, so they can't Shugesh Kid Goku, and you can just make a push that way if you really need to. Like I said earlier in this video, every card has, at one point or another, either has already been or will become a threat for game, for pulling you out on top. But Unbreakable, for the most part, is just essentially another 10k draw, which is really good. Sorry for that, shaking the camera there. And then the last red card I use, probably the most powerful red card in the game right now, is for Seeing Hit. This, to me, personally, is a win more card in this deck, because essentially I'm just blowing you out by turn 3 or 4 with the constant pressure of my battle cards, that if I play Hit, it's almost a guaranteed win. Looking at your opponent's hand and taking their plays away from them is huge. And he's a 20k double striker that, at that point of the game, he could win you the game just on his own. And he's also a free 5k combo. Hit is very, very good, especially in the yellow matchup, because if you take their Shugesh out, they essentially just have 5ks in their hand. They can't Shugesh Explosive, they can't Shugesh in the Kaba and look at the top 10 and start the whole cycle all over again. But in other decks, it's really good too. Like if you're playing against blue, you can take their super combos out. If you're playing against Universe 7, you can take out Victory Strike and some of the pieces and just kind of get you to where you need to be. Hit's a very, very good card. Most lists play 3. I play 4 because I want to see him as early as possible. And just, he's a 5k combo, so it's never really dead. And worst case scenario, if I get him too early, I'll just charge him, and I'll know that I'll see another one during the game. So I play 4 Hit. Now, the last color I play is black, and the only reason I main black is, I'll show you. So I main 3 Haru Haru. Now, at the 1K, essentially every round I played a Ginyu Veggie, except for when I played Connor Wood, he was playing SS3. So that was the only deck this card was dead against. But against the yellow leader, this card is bananas. If your opponent, if you're playing veggies, normally they're going to charge 2 green, play Kaba, and then next turn they'll charge a yellow to turn on their Bloodlust or their Nimbus or whatever. But if you're playing against a yellow or green deck and they're tapped out, especially yellow, if they tap that yellow to like, you have to bait it, obviously. Like if you swing with your leader with crit and they tap that yellow to play a Roshi or something, then you're good to go. You just swipe, you just slap that Haru Haru on board, and it's essentially free. Like it comes out, you know, it's a 3-drop, so it comes out for 3 energy, but it's auto activates and untaps 4 if your opponent's leader is yellow or green. And it also has the added effect that it's an optional auto though. You can choose up to 2 cards from the top of your deck and send them to the grave, so you can mill the top 2, which helps fuel your overwhelm for this guy, Scientist Fu. I play 3 Scientist Fus. That's basically my win con, you know. 1 energy, overwhelm, and draw 2 cards is insane. 25k double strike. You know, at late game pressure, like I said, this deck likes to reuse its energy a lot, so you really don't have to charge more than 3 or 4 energy, so you're essentially winning by turn 3 or 4. And you can literally put out, if you're playing against the right deck, like if you're playing yellow, you can put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threats per turn, 6 threats in 1 turn. You can play essentially, you can play 2 Haru Harus or 3 Haru Harus. They untap all their energies. You can overwhelm for a Scientist Fu, that's your 4th threat. Then you can play BCC Goku, who comes out for essentially 1 energy, and then you can play Kaba. It's just ridiculous. All that by using the same energy. It's just ridiculous. You know, and Haru Haru, you know, has the added caveat that it's a crit attack. So if you bring Haru Haru out and untap all your energy and your opponent's tapped out, you can just swing and throw a double strike Champa on it, and it's going to do double strike crit for 25k. I mean, this deck is really, really fun. It's very aggressive. If you like to play aggro decks, I definitely recommend playing it. This deck is only going to get better with set 4 and all the new support that the color blue is getting. I still like Masain. Masain is my baby. Like, I still love that leader, and I'm so glad it's getting a lot of support in set 4. But do not sleep on Vegeta. Just because it's a set 1 leader doesn't mean anything. It's still very, very powerful. Just ask Marcel Russell. He's been playing Vegeta since the game has started, and he's literally ranked #1 in the world. That guy is the best player in the world, you know. So just ask him. You know, Vegeta is nuts, and I'm glad that, you know, my teammate introduced me to this. Thank you again, Brian, for giving me the wisdom and playing it. It plays right into my play style because I consider myself more of like an aggro player than a control player. I really like the deck. It's really fun. I had success with it. Guys, try it out. Any recommendations as far as moving forward? I would consider maybe just to have more utility and just more versatility in the deck, I would maybe cut the Haru Harus down to 2 and the Fu down to 2 and play 2 of the mirror that when you overwhelm, it's a 20k crit strike. I would probably just do that just to have more options, because this guy, you do have to have 7 in drop, and you do have to tap 1 for it. So in the awkward situation where you don't have 7 cards and you can't get 7 cards into your drop, you can just play the Mira for a crit, you know, and it does essentially, you know, the same thing as a Haru Haru. It's putting pressure on your opponent, and they're going to have to combo out of it to not take that critical strike. Scientist Fu is definitely a very good game ender, and Haru Haru with the energy manipulation is fantastic. But for the most part, this deck wins with the leader and hit. That's just basically how you want to do it. Everything else is just the cherry on top. So that's pretty much it. I did mention before I was gonna take like a break, you know, and not focus too much on playing the game right now. I'm just kind of a little, not like tired. I'm just like, I put so much focus and effort on playing, you know, and getting ready for the Atlantic City event that I think I kind of wore myself thin. So I'm just going to take a little bit of time to recharge the batteries. I'm still going to be putting content out, so don't worry about that. But once set 4 comes out, we're going to hit it hard, and we're going to build new decks and play new formats and play new strategies and stuff like that. Set 4 is really going to change the game a lot because they're introducing new mechanics, and they're introducing a lot of hate to counter plays and stuff like that. So as far as like what I foresee being good, I think black is the most powerful color in the set. just because it hates on yellow. But yellow is still going to be really, really good. So I would say black and yellow are going to be the top 2 colors. And then I think blue and green might trump red. I mean, red's super aggro, and it got a lot of good support, especially with Baby and the Machine Mutants. But blue, its niche right now is putting cards back on the top of your opponent's deck, and that's nuts. Like, that's essentially sets your opponent back a whole turn. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, we're gonna have openings and stuff with set 4 on this channel. So if you guys want, you know, you'll know where to find it. You know, so moving forward, there's gonna be a lot of new things coming up with new cards and stuff like that. So for the most part, guys, like I said, if you're looking for something fun to play at your locals or something, or if you're going to go to the ARG in Boston next month, definitely try out Vegeta. It's still very viable. It's still really good against control decks and decks that need to set up. I was able to pilot it to a top 16, so I'm really proud of it, and I'm really happy with it. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's continue to grow together as a community. I really appreciate all the love and support. Until then, we'll see you in the next video. Be there or be squared.